So, Janice, you talk about being present, being mindful when we're with others. What are the benefits for being mindful?
You know, surprisingly, you're less tired at the end of the day when you're focusing on what that other person has to say instead of putting the responsibility on yourself as to what your response needs to be. So there's a benefit. The other thing is you're likely to be more accurate about what that person is feeling if you're just present.
Okay, and can anybody do it?
Well, we would think that it would be hard based on how few of us do it,
Right.
but try this, do a little exercise. Okay, so take your hands and touch each finger together one at a time. And I want you to notice that. Now take the palms and place them together and feel your skin touch there. Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right now, at this moment, that's what you're thinking about. So right now, at that moment, we were both present.
I think a really important place to be present is when you're in a conversation with someone else. And sometimes it feels like people are just chatting endlessly. I remember I was talking to this woman and she said, "Oh, wow, Carter, we had such a great connection." And she didn't know anything about me other than what I said when I first met her.
And what did you learn about her?
A little more than I wanted to, maybe.
Probably too much.
Yeah, why do people do that?
I would tell you the most likely answer is insecurity. So they get a little nervous. When she was around you, you know, she probably liked you, and the adrenaline was flowing, and that's her way to release it. Another thing is that sometimes we feel validated when we get to talk about ourselves. And you know what? You were a captured audience. There you were, politely listening, being present, and it made her feel good about herself. So, yeah, I think that's what happens.
Okay. And what about people who interrupt? Is that the same thing?
Actually not. There are 5 distinct reasons why we tend to interrupt. And as I list them, go ahead and tell me which one just might be yours. All right. So the first reason we interrupt is we don't think we have time, right? If we can interrupt them and stop, we can move on to that other thing we think might be more important. Or the second one might be that we're just not that interested, right? That person isn't that interesting to us. Or a third one would be that what they're saying is inaccurate, so you want to stop them. The fourth is maybe you don't respect that person. And the fifth one, last and probably the most common, is that you're just not that interested. So which one might be yours?
I think the biggest one for me is time.
Time.
Biggest one for me is time, which I think is connected to lack of respect.
Yes.
Because it's like I don't have time.
Yeah.
To listen to exactly what you're going to say. I'm just going to jump in.
Yeah. I learned vividly what people that are really present and don't interrupt probably experience. I was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and with Gary Haugen, the founder and president of the human rights organization, International Justice Mission. Oh, he happens to also be my brother, right? Oh, and your uncle? Yeah, all right, throwing around names. So I'm his driver when he's speaking at these 3 functions. And at the end of the function, there is often 40, 50 people lined up to talk to Gary. And it takes actually a handler off to the side to kind of keep them moving. It's bizarre. But what I noticed the whole time, all 3 times, was his amazing holding presence. It seemed to go on and not get tired. So at the end, when we're sitting at dinner, I thought, can I ask you a question? He said, sure. And I said, how do you do that? How do you stay 100% present when each of these people is coming up and asking you a question? And he looked at me and with all sincerity said, because I'm interested. Like, wow.
That puts it in a nutshell.
I know, in a nutshell.